Okay, so here's part two of my little video. As I say, my timing on this might not be perfect, so I'll try and, when I'm editing this a little bit more, hopefully I'll get the timing right. Anyway, so as I say, these artists dotted all over the place around this next couple of streets. I've never been to this one before, and it's bigger than I thought it was actually. And apparently there's over 200, oh well, about 200 artists involved in this. Now they do have very similar things like this dotted around London and various different places, sort of urban art fair type things, and because they've got one in Camberwell Green, at the Green there, where the little park is, because I attended that one once, one year. I had a few paintings in there, but it's a small affair, nothing compared to this. And you know, although there's probably amateurs, and obviously there is amateurs in this, I think some of these people are also professional as well, judging by the standard of some of the work. You know, I mean, you know, some of it is really good. Some of it's mediocre, some of it's very amateurish. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm not judging people's artwork by those standards, because you know, to me, everybody's creative. I've always said this. Human beings, by their very nature, it's written in our DNA. From when we first made the first cave paintings on the walls. Excuse me, sorry, clearing my throat. You know, from the very first time we painted on cave walls. You know, human beings have always been creative. So I don't judge people's work by the standard of, you know, what people consider to be, you know, is it professional, is it quality work, you know, is it, you know, to me it's all about expression, it's all about self-expression. So it doesn't matter whether your painting looks like a child's done it, or even if a child's done it, it doesn't really matter. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about self-expression, and a need to create. You know, it's not just about wanting to do it, or you know, doing it for a living, or whatever. You know, I mean, it got me thinking. I was walking through there. I mean, I've always wanted to be an artist and maybe make my living at it. But you know, the thing is that I've never really put 100% in, to be quite honest. And I think you've got to, and even then, to be quite honest, unless you're exceptional. But it's like anything in life, isn't it? There's only a certain amount of people, for whatever reason, whether it's they've got the X factor, whether they've got a bit of luck, circumstances, whatever, you know, maybe a combination of all of those things, that some people become well known and famous. And it's not about that for me either. It's just like being able, you know, I'd like to be able to make a living enough to survive on, to be comfortable. You know what I mean? I don't want to be mega rich or whatever. I'm not bothered if my painting sells for millions and millions and millions. You know, just as long as I can make a comfortable living at it, so that you know, I'm comfortably off. Not, you know, I don't have to be well off. You know, just comfortably off. But you know, it got me thinking. You see all these artists there, and I don't know if they're all from Brixton. I suspect they're probably not all from Brixton. But I can imagine that there's a fair few that are you know, located in Brixton, dotted around Brixton, and therefore you know, you think in some ways they're competition. You know what I mean? They're my competition, and some of them are really bloody good. You know, and I would actually say that a lot of them are, you know, a heck of a lot better than I am. And I've been doing it for many years, and I'm not saying I'm rubbish artist. I'm not. I would say again, because I don't practice it as often as I should, and they say that that's one of the things, you must practice your art, because you can lose it. You know, it'll come back to you eventually, but you know, if you don't practice it, you know, you can't maintain a certain level of standard, and I don't, to be honest. I paint whenever I can, when I get the opportunity, or when the mood strikes me, and sometimes it can be a complete disaster and look like I say, a 2-year-old drawn it or something, or whatever, and sometimes I can make a really decent painting and it stand out. But you know, I mean, I like these, by the way. Sorry, I've got to cut it over myself on that. I like these. This is why I focused on these ones. That's how I tend to do art, me, when I'm doing art galleries or whatever. I go purely by how something takes me in the first few moments of when I see it, emotionally. I don't think about it intellectually at first. It's purely about an emotional response from me. And those sort of ones that we just saw a minute ago, not necessarily the portraits. So the artist lying down on the floor as well, I quite like that as well. But those other ones like structures really intrigued me. Oh yeah, so as I was saying, what I believe in as well is that everybody's creative in their own way. All human beings are creative, and it doesn't matter whether you could be a engineer, you could be a guy that's digging the road up. Do you know what I mean? All human beings in their own way are creative, just by their very nature of being human. It's in our nature, like I said just before. It's in our DNA that we are creative creatures, and so, like I say, I wouldn't knock anybody's creative spirit, no matter what it is. It's all about expressing yourself. Okay, thanks for listening.